It's time to talk boxing today on Premier Vegas Sports, and that means Canelo, Triple G, the rematch. It's signed, sealed, and delivered, but to where? Plus, the first big fight of 2018, Garcia, Rios, and let's talk big bouts and hopefuls. All that and more today on Premier Vegas Sports Boxing Edition. Well, welcome to Premier Vegas Sports, our Boxing Edition. This is our first show of the season. How about it, G?
Man, I'm ready for some fights. Are you?
I'm ready for some fights, some big fights. All right, the first fight that is coming to Las Vegas that will be the big fight will be, of course, Brandon Rios and Danny Garcia. But we have to talk about the rematch. Triple G and Canelo, that fight will be a very good one. They're talking about where the fight will be, whether it's going to be in New York, Dallas, wherever. Where do you think it's going to be?
I'm going to say Vegas. I think it's a no-brainer, but for some reason, Golden Boy Promotion likes to kind of wait on the venue when it comes to Canelo. Maybe for some more headlines here and there where the fight's going to be, a battle between Madison Square Garden and the MGM casinos. But when the MGM and Vegas want a big fight, they usually get it, and I think they really want Canelo Triple G rematch. The first one was a big success. I think 22,000 people were there, a gate of $27 million. So why not bring that fight back to Vegas? So I know Madison Square Garden is making a big push, but at the end of the day, Vegas, people, relax. It's going to be right here in Sin City, the fight capital of the world.
So let's talk about the actual biggest fight, well, the first fight of 2018 here in the fight capital of the world, of course. Danny Garcia fighting for the first time this year, and it's almost been a year, a full calendar year by the time he gets into the ring. He's taking on Brandon Rios. Let's go ahead and take a look at that fight card. And what do you think of the fight card, and especially the main event?
A lot of people kind of groan a little bit about the main event because Brandon Rios is kind of, a washed-up fighter, maybe past his prime. But I feel like Brandon Rios is always that fighter you could, expect, fireworks. He always goes at it, and I know Danny Garcia should be fighting better quality opponents as a welterweight. He just coming off that fight with Keith Thurman. But Rios is going to bring it. He's not going to give you an easy fight. So for Danny Garcia to be out of the ring for a year, maybe it's not a bad tune-up fight. I don't want to call it tune-up because I think Rios might have something left in the tank. He looks skinny. Like I saw him in LA for a press conference. He looks like he's fit. Usually Rios is a guy you're kind of worried about making weight.
Yes, you are. Okay, so what about the co-main event, so to speak? I mean, the fight that's, you have an interesting story on one of the fighters that's coming up in that one.
Yeah, I'm having a big story coming out this week on Ronald Gabriel from Romania. He left his country about 6 years ago in LA. He was broke, no promoter, and our guy James Toney, he found Ronald at a gym.
Lights out.
Yeah, lights out. James. He told me that he used to call him fresh meat, and he kept testing him in the gym after spar, and then after a while, he gained his respect. He kept knocking out guys in the gym, and James Toney became Ronald's trainer. So I have that feature, and it's a very good story between James Toney and Ronald. Ronald, less than a month away for the big fight, your rematch. How are you feeling so far, and how the workout's going for you?
I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, and my training camp is doing well, the preparation is very good, and everything is good. I'm ready for the fight. I learned from last fight, a lot of things, and I know I can do more better in the rematch.
But getting back to the fight, that's a big fight. If you saw the first one, hardcore boxing fans, you want to see the rematch because David Navidez, he's the real deal, but he got knocked down by Ronald in the 12th round, so that's why we're having this rematch, and I'm excited to see what happens in the second bout.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and look forward to some of the big bouts that are coming up here, Premier Vegas Sports. Obviously, we're going to be covering most of these fights if we can, if they're here in town. But looking at these fights, Deontay Wilder is the first one as far as dates are concerned. That's in March, and that was going to be in Brooklyn. It'll be good to see the heavyweight champ back in the ring for the first time. It seems like forever, because every opponent that he seems to want to face wants to be on steroids.
Exactly. But he did have that big knockout not too long ago in December against Bermain Stavern. So we have seen him.
That's right. He did fight him, sort of.
Sort of. It was, one round?
Yes.
A quality knockout. But, yeah, I guess Deontay hasn't been too active. That was one round of work. But I'm very intrigued with this fight. Luis Ortiz has power, and Deontay has a lot of power. So this is actually the first true test, I think, since Deontay got that belt a couple years ago in Las Vegas that he's going to be tested.
What's the deal with Manny Pacquiao? Is he ever coming back? Is he going to fight again? We have the card coming up with Terrence Crawford. He's trying to get that welterweight belt from Jeff Horn, who, of course, beat Manny Pacquiao. And Pacquiao's supposed to be on the undercard. He may be. He might not be. Maybe Mike Alvarado. I mean, what's going on with that?
I've been talking to Bob Arum, asking him, is Pacquiao going to be on the card? He said he's working on it. So I think there's been too much time that's passed. I think he has Pacquiao, and on the card, it's just who's going to fight. And the rumor is Mike Alvarado. I know boxing fans, you might want to groan. Mike Alvarado. We mentioned Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios and Mike Alvarado.
Those are some great fights.
Great fights.
Yeah.
But that was, 2012? It's been a while, and those guys are kind of, over the hill. I know it's still Pacquiao. He has a name, so people will still watch. But the fight before that, I think Pacquiao would be the main event. You can't have Pacquiao on a co-main event.
So?
I think it's going to be the main event, especially if Bob Arum wants to put that ESPN card on pay-per-view. You got to have Manny Pacquiao as a headline.
Wow,
but
even over Terrence Crawford going against the guy who beat Pacquiao.
I don't think Terrence Crawford and Jeff Horn are that big yet to surpass Manny Pacquiao in a main event. Okay. It doesn't matter who Pacquiao fights. I think at this point, I wish he was fighting somebody better. But that co-main event is going to be real solid too with Jeff Horn and Terrence Crawford. You mentioned Jeff Horn with the upset, and now you got maybe the best pound fighter in Terrence Crawford, but going up to welterweight for his true test. So that'd be a good card. I know Alvarado, Pacquiao is not as sizzling as we want it to be, but Crawford Horn might be where you want to pay your money.
Okay, and then looking even further down the line, we didn't actually talk about the fight, but let's do it now. Triple G, Canelo again, the rematch. We'll get to those predictions down the road, but that's still going to be a very good fight.
Yeah, it's all about adjustments. Second time around, and when Canelo was asked in the ring, do you want the rematch? He said, "There's no rematch. Nobody won." So it's pretty much a 13 round. So we're gonna keep going and going until somebody wins, and it was a draw. So I want to see what these guys do the second time around for the 13th round. I think Canelo was maybe a little too slow in the middle rounds.
Yeah,
so maybe
he was either gassed out or whatever.
Maybe he was just worried about the power of Triple G, but now this time around he knows he could take a punch, so maybe he might be more active. And the thing with Triple G, he was slow coming out the first belt, and he was very slow the last 3 rounds. He let him off the hook, so maybe both these guys might be like, you know what, we were too cautious and patient. Let's come out swinging for the rematch.
Okay, all right. Well, Gil, something that we'd like to do on our show, something that you guys can look forward to seeing, our knockouts of the week. Obviously, we can't put all the fights on there, some of the fights with the pay-per-view and blah, 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 rights and everything else, but you found a fight that you really liked, and the knockout was absolutely ridiculous. Let's go ahead and take a look at that, and you can just kind of talk about what you saw between the two fighters.
Yeah, this was a fight that people couldn't watch in the U.S. on television, but I found it on YouTube. It's 2018 that you can see fights on YouTube. So this was a great fight between Murad Gassive and Junior Dorticos. Hopefully I got those names right.
Yeah.
One's Russian.
I want to let you say the names.
One's from Cuba. But Dorticos, was taking so many punches for 11 rounds, and he wouldn't go down. And then finally, Murad Gassive got him in the 12th round. A big knockout. I think it was a left hook where he dropped him.
With the left hook, and then he finished him off when he put him through the ropes.
Yeah, he fell 3 times the last time he went through the ropes.
Man, it already seems like it's gone by quickly, but a great first show for our Premier Vegas Sports Boxing Edition show. You like it?
A lot to talk about. More boxing, right?
That's right. So we'll see these people next week when we'll talk about the actual fight week for Brandon Rios and Danny Garcia, which should be a very good fight. So you excited about that one?
Finally, a fight in our hometown to cover. It's been a while.
That's what I'm talking about. You're listening to, of course, the boxing beat writer for Review Journal. I'm Bryan Salmond, Gilbert Manzano. We'll see you guys next time.